Good morning, everyone. Sayer G here. This is becoming a somewhat regular update, and it's important because things are changing in real time. So this morning, when I logged into Instagram, this warning came up, which was your account may be deleted for violating community guidelines, for posting harmful and false information. You can't see it, but it was a meme by the Free Thought Project, which is highly ironic that they would consider this censorable material worthy of threatening to delete our account. This is the quote: "Real pandemics don't require faulty virus models, rigged test results, inaccurate reporting, and manipulated death statistics, but psychological operations do." Now, there's another quote out there you may have seen, which is the things that they're censoring are exactly the things you need to know about. So I don't find this at all to be a bad thing. This is a sign that social media today has become the remaining alternative independent source of information out there that you and I, as citizen journalists, can distribute and put out if the platforms allow that, of course. So it works if other people resonate with that information. Is it true? Does it feel true? Well, based on the following that you garnish based on social media growth, that is the indicator. It's called social proof, right? It's a type of capital, if you will, value created when people interact with content and say, this resonates, this is true for me. So of course, the one narrative that would rule them all, there are many ways of looking at this dark agenda, if you will. It could be something as simple as the belief that there's only one true way to describe something, or to one true medical belief, for example. That would be medical monotheism. It's like a religion based on scientism, which is perverting the basic methodological ethos of science, which is a process and a form of validating discoveries, versus it being something that's settled, a destination, and like some kind of castle that you can't penetrate afterwards, right? As a way of accumulating power. Well, medical monotheism is based on that, if you will, erroneous way of thinking about things, because there are many perspectives as there are many truths. And if we were to assume that we are the only ones who know the truth, then we'd be guilty of that as well. So what's going on right now is the censorship is ramping up. And as you can see, the primary reason why we've been getting threats of deletion is because we are questioning the dominant narrative. This is an article that was about the previous deletions, which are interesting. Okay, this was just reporting on death statistics and showing that actually, as they were ramping up the testing, scaling volume of healthy people, basically asymptomatic individuals, a second seeming wave of COVID was occurring, even though death rates were decreasing. So talking about this on social media has become something that can get your account deleted or threatened to be deleted. And that's exactly what happened, because we were just pointing out that, okay, they're talking about a second lockdown. Why? Why a second lockdown? The hospitals, the death rates are technically not reflective of a second wave. It's just not there. And so why would they shut down a account for posting a meme, especially one when you think about it that just questions what a pandemic is? Like, okay, when we say false death statistics, we're not talking about some dark cabal of individuals that are behind the scenes manipulating things. We're talking about the United States Health Vital Statistics Agency itself stating April 3rd that you do not have to test for virus of any kind to pronounce someone dead from COVID. You just need to have suspicion they died with it, basically. Because the question of having a test for a virus in your body, dying with a virus rather than from, it's a huge distinction. But the way in which the coding of COVID cases and deaths have been architected, pretty much anyone can go into a hospital, die today, and they can pronounce you dead from COVID. In fact, there was a case reported on Fox 35 of a motorcycle accident victim several days ago who was coded as a COVID death. This is a very extreme example of something that, again, is not hidden it's actually being pronounced by the National Vital Statistics System. Okay, this is basically the reporting of the United States government, right, on how to code people dead from COVID. Again, only suspicion of COVID infections required. And then you have the World Health Organization, only a few days after that announcement, stating the same. Okay, you do not need to code someone dead from COVID. You don't need to have a virus test. You don't need to prove anything. Okay, this is what's going on. So to even question, right, the manipulated death statistics at this point can get your account deleted. And this is just a meme. That, this is where we're at. So I want people to understand what's going on, because we may disappear very quickly, and you will know why, because we made a video, hopefully, that you saw. But this is just the beginning, because when they take away the ability to reference opinion or question the dominant narrative, and those asking the questions are identified as dangerous, as disseminating false information, this is the end of anything resembling freedom. And if that happens, then it's not that great a stretch before they come knocking at your door, forcing a test for a COVID virus that I'd like someone to prove to me that there is one circulating in the way that they're saying, right? That isn't part of the normal background virome of communities, which include over 100 strains of coronavirus and many unidentified factors that lead to what they call influenza-like illness, which could be as simple as being poisoned, right? Literally by toxicant exposure, non-native VMF. Half the food that this country eats is absolutely poisonous. That is what's contributing to a lot of what we are identifying as virally caused disease, because it's easy to do that. You blame the victim, basically, or you blame this invisible particle for all the things that are going wrong in the world, for all the things that could be improved through, advocating for better health, better diet, better exercise, better mindset. This is what I call viral false flag. This is the basis for allopathic medicine. It's to blame the victim, treat symptoms as if they are disease, so you poison them deeper into the system, versus symptoms are ways for the body to heal, including all the symptoms associated with, quote, viral infection. Fever, coughing, anything excreting excess waste, that's not the disease. That is your body trying to adapt to unhealthy circumstances, trying to optimize detoxification pathways, etc. It's a basis for natural medical views since the beginning of time. So that seems to be the situation right now. Let me think here. We've got some other stuff to look at. If you go to our page on GreenMedInfo, I'm surprised I didn't delete Aaron Russo's testimony about the agenda that's unfolding right here in real time. That seems to be more concerning when it comes to letting people know the true agenda that's occurring. But the reality is that while we still are on social media, it's an opportunity for you guys to subscribe to our newsletter. Thankfully, we have a community of over 400,000 people who daily get our updates. And when and if they do delete social media, because they've done this before, taken us off Pinterest, they've unpublished our account previously through Facebook, is that we are going to do just fine, because we've created our own community, and we have already experienced MailChimp trying to kick us off of our own platform because they are a CDC funding partner. So you're seeing the consolidation of media has already occurred. But what may appear to be an independent company, right, a private company like MailChimp, absolutely ridiculous branding, is actually working for the CDC, which is itself part of the CDC Foundation, right? There's this nonprofit part of the CDC that takes in billions of dollars of funding from Merck and Pfizer and Disney and every imaginable organization, corporate organization. So, we are sort of at the end of times for independent social media. So as a hedge against that, we've created our own newsletter-based publishing platform that you can access for free. In fact, when you opt in, you get this amazing guide of over 500 pages of evidence-based natural remedies, something you can't even say anymore without potentially being deleted, right? Natural medicine is perceived as the enemy. It's false, it's dangerous, it's going to kill you, right? Like herbs and food, versus pharmaceuticals are life-saving, and in fact, they're so good for you, we're going to force them into your body. That's literally what's obviously going on today. So we need a way around that. And I feel we've created that here. By the way, when it comes to false statistics, let's look at that, because we had, of course, Ferguson's model, which proposed that over 2 million Americans were going to die if we didn't lock down the country immediately, March 14th. So the White House, Trump decided March 15th, okay, we're going to do this for a few weeks, right, and save some lives. Or we're still technically in lockdown, right? Just millions of businesses destroyed, livelihoods destroyed, because this guy out of the Imperial College, Ferguson, he predicted, right, through his modeling that, we were going to experience massive casualties. And so that didn't pan out. But yet no one was held accountable, and they haven't adjusted their draconian, policies downward. Peerless Reads through YouTube, amazing. They've gone in depth into the manipulation of the statistics through the media, the scientists themselves really just misrepresenting the truth, that this is about as deadly as a seasonal flu. And again, that's based on already cooked books when it comes to death statistics. So for those who really want to get a mathematician, someone who's very versed in statistics, to look at what they've done, this is endless information for you. So again, posting a meme that calls into question the definition of pandemic being used today, oh my Lord, you can go deep into this rabbit hole if you want, but the World Bank had pandemic bonds that paid out due to novel coronavirus causing a certain number of deaths. So $500 million was paid out because of these so-called pandemic bonds. So we have all the makings for context that leads to the conclusion that this was premeditated, which is why people call it a scamdemic or plandemic. Look up Event 201. That's a great example. Live COVID coronavirus exercise ran in October of 2019 by the John Hopkins, Health Security Center, World Economic Forum, and the Gates Foundation. And they simulated basically what's happening now. A coronavirus outbreak that, according to them, killed tens of millions of people, shut down the entire global economy. There was even talk in the exercise about the need for military intervention, shutting down sources of misinformation, which we would be identified as, right? So even the internet itself is on the chopping block when it comes to how they're unfolding this, quote, plandemic or scamdemic is how some people would like to describe it. So, let's just be aware. Instagram could say goodbye. There's always, of course, my backup account, although I imagine that would be going soon too, which is Sayer G. or Sayer GMI. So we also are posting there. But GreenMedInfo, again, if you want more information on what's going on, you can look at our story. I'll be updating this on threatening to delete our accounts. And of course, here was one of the original reasons, is that Ron Paul's very factual, in my opinion, meme was not tolerable by Instagram. The daily death count has morphed into the daily new case count, as hundreds or 100,000 tests a day have exploded into 700,000 tests. Is it a wonder? Cases are increasing. But what they don't dare mention is that the deaths and even the death rate continue to decline. So as the ballooning, right, of symptomless cases, people they're being told you can't go to work again, you can't go to school, your job, unless you get a test. Of course, they're going to get positive tests when, in fact, recent reports in Florida show that there is, 100% positivity rates from over 400 Florida labs. Do you think this is just happening in Florida? No, I think it's going on all over the place, honestly. And so they're cooking the books. And so what he's pointing out is that, at this point, we are dealing with a scam of high magnitude. Okay. In fact, the CDC warns that COVID is at the stage where it cannot even be classified as an epidemic due to declining deaths. Still, more masks are required, and petty dictators all around are calling for a return to a lockdown. Can the truth ever be heard above all the lies? Well, ironically, no. Actually, Instagram says this violates community guidelines. It's false and harmful information, and your account may be deleted for posting this meme. So this is the theme, guys. Despite posting data from the government, you simply can't be speaking the truth on these platforms any longer without being threatened deletion. So once again, make sure to follow us through the GreenMedInfo newsletter. That's GreenMedInfo.com/newsletter. And that way we can stay in touch and hopefully continue to help people wake up to a more nuanced view, if you will, of the truth.